No. Zero.
Hang on. Now I'm getting it.
Now are you getting it?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
All right. We have it. We go ahead and start whenever you are ready.
okay.
Just give me a signal and then wait for me to count, okay?
All right. We can do that. Okay. Thanks, Josh, for everything you're doing.
No trouble at all.
I want to welcome you to the lovely Reading Library, which is a great library. Thank you for being here and live and in person. I'm Tom Hogan. I'm the coordinator of the Milwaukie Poetry Series. And I want to welcome everyone that is with us on live stream tonight. So thank you for being with us from wherever you are. And I think the thing is that there are so many things that you can do, and there are so many demands on your time. We are very grateful for you being here in the audience in person to hear the reading. And we're grateful for all of you who are on the live stream and hearing us that way. So thank you very much. I want to make some thanks. I want to thank the city of Milwaukie first, because the city of Milwaukie has supported us from the beginning. So a big thanks to them. Secondly, thanks to the Letting Library. And we love the Letting Library and the old library. We love the Pond House. This is a great facility. So thanks to the Letting Library. They have been very supportive of us also from the beginning. Thanks to the Milwaukie Poetry Series Committee. So we have a committee member here in addition to me. So there's Bev over here. So thank you, Bev, for being here. And as you know, and you heard me say, we don't have things happen unless you have people working on it. So we do have people working on it. I want to thank the Letting Library again. And our technicians over here, Robert Langston and Tara Go. Yeah. And Tara is new to the library. She worked here before, but she's just come on December 1st. So we're absolutely, we're delighted to have her. So thank you for being here. And we also want to thank Josh. You've heard me say the name Josh several times. So Josh is our technician at Willamette Falls Media Center. We want to thank the Willamette Falls Media Center for what they're doing, because the library with the Hook here and the Willamette Falls Media Center are people that are making it happen. So thank you for that. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy December. Yes. Yes. It's a wonderful season. And I know Jane and I was just telling you, Jane and I were saying that we're getting a couple of the other day, we were driving along and we thought, it's not so cold out. It feels warmer than it did. And it was 44 degrees. So I thought, wait a minute. 2 months ago, 44 degrees would have been really cold. 44 degrees and 2 degrees warmer than the 34 it did the day before. So that was a sign that we had gotten grown accustomed to it. Well, I'm looking forward to the reading tonight. I read with Suzanne. She's a fine poet. We're going to hear a great reading tonight. It's my pleasure to introduce her. She's holding a book, I believe, and this Swarm of Light is a collection of poems by her, which was published by Ivy Press in 2020. She's going to be reading from it. Her chapbook. Her chapbook, Held in the Weave, appeared earlier from Finishing Line Press. She's a poet and an essayist, and her writing has been in USA Today, The Oregonian, the Bellingham Review, Windfall, a Journal of Poetry and Place, the Voice Catcher Journal, the Poetry Box, and Lightland Journal, among other things. She has creative writing residencies at Portland Public Schools and served as the editor for Voice Catcher Journal. Most recently, her poem, let's see if she's going to read it tonight. Her poem, Maryland Shooting the Misfits, is part of an anthology, I Want to Be Loved by You, Poems on Marilyn Monroe, a prismatic tribute to the American artist on the 60th anniversary of her death. That's edited by Suzanne Case and Mario Cap Schreiber, published by Milk and Keep Press. A couple of things I want to remind you is that we do have a broadside of her poem. It's on the yellow sheet of paper. I hope everyone has one. If you don't have one, we'll get you one before you leave. I also want to remind you about your cell phones and telephonic devices, if you would silence them, so we don't disturb the poet. So would you join me in welcoming our poet for this evening, Suzanne Sigafoos.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Oh. I feel like I'm returning from a distant land of not ever reading with people right here. It's so wonderful. And my book appeared in 2020, and we all know I couldn't go running around reading it then, could I? So I have read online, and tonight I want to read poems I've never read from my book. So that's going to be exciting. And for tonight, I have a sort of an opener for you that I wrote. I'm not going to. Okay, that's sort of a lie. I excerpted this this piece from an essay I wrote, and I was in a lyric essay class. And dear Andrea Hollander was leading it, and she said, let's all think of a color we love and free write. And that led me to I chose green, and it led me to examine envy and jealousy. And this is the innocent part that I want to read to you. And I've kind of like put it back together and cobbled it. And it's tonight, it's just for us, and it's called, oh, wait a minute, excuse me, just a second. Dear live streamers, I'm so happy you're there too. Okay. And people who will watch this YouTube later, YouTube. It's great. It's great. I don't want to leave anyone out. Okay. So this is called A Riff on Green. I am not green when I see red, not green when I am blue. Is grass at a prescribed distance from the eye greener than the grass right here where I am standing? Green as Ohio's tea hills named for sassafras, a root boiled and steeped. Green as panes of window glass on end. Green as deep basins of river water that slow but do not stop. Green as shamrocks and great good fortune. Green as fiddleheads, fields and falls. Green like the fuse that burns beneath the dun watercolor stain of winter. In spring and fall, on the equinox, shadows are green. Some greens prefer shade, viridian, malachite, moss. I seek to practice the green of gratitude, the green of kindness to myself and others. I want the patience of green. I gave you my word and kept it green. I bow my head. Constant green of spruce, fir, cedar, sustain me. Willow, leaf, and vine, please lend me grace. So, from the book, I am going to read oh yes, this is a world premiere. There's a searchlight out there, I just know it. This is a world premiere of a poem that was written on, I happen to know, May 12th, 2020, about 4 days before we had to go send this in to the press. And my editor, Dirk Stratton, had said, you know that poem about the still life? I think you'll remember it, Kelly. It seems like your poem's just a list of all the stuff that he put in the painting, but I think there's something deeper, don't you? I was like, well, no pressure. He said, and he also had said, we have 2 canyon poems. I want a third one more canyon poem, and I want the still life thing, a little more heat. So I was kind of terrified, and then this miracle happened. I'm gonna read from my notes in the back. My sister Nance, her birthday is May 12th, and she sent me this quote of the day. What is a poem but a hazardous attempt at self-understanding? It is the deepest part of autobiography. Robert Penn Warren in the New York Times in 1985. And that did it for me. I just thought, take a risk, hazardous endeavor, better get going on that. And then I thought, why does this painting fascinate me so much? And it's as if this man, the artist is named Jean Brosselmans, and it was called Still Life with Fan when he painted it in 1948. And it is crammed with objects. And I thought, when I saw it in the museum, I thought, is this a satire? Is he mad at the Dutch masters? What's going on? And I actually felt like he maybe was commenting on something that was, I don't know, it just seemed like there was some anger in there. So I set about to write this, and here it is. Still life, or a surface teeming. What pleasure to look at still life paintings, pear and apple beauties, fallen petals, a dewdrop bright on variegated rind, open, offering melon, flesh, and seeds. Condensation on a wine glass, life held, light caught, time stopped. Aroma after days in the studio, overripe fruit, the dark, stinking stems. Painter, your first gesture? A classic. Purple grapes, oranges, apples, pears, posing on platters and heaped in a bowl. Two small coquilles, a vase of red roses, then this black and white photo. Who is she? A film star? One of a bevy the long-legged longed for? Needlework, asphodels trapped under glass, a game board for checkers, a sloop in the harbor, and one cheerful plate. Did you, in a rage, smash your service for 8? Mama, the dishes you gave me, see, there's one in my painting. Your fury, mine. What is a poem but a hazardous attempt at self-understanding? What is a painting? The fan in your title is shadow penumbra, lacks colors and lace. And where's pride of place? Sardines gleam and glisten beside the real treasure. A conch shell, lustrous, blushing, a spiral in spiral, the keeper of sea timbre, lyrics, and salt. There you are, painter. There you are, poet. Two of your, sorry. Let me do that again. There you are, painter. There you are, poet. Two of you joined in your hazardous longings. So what an exercise. I was really surprised I could do that. I'm going to read you some more poems about artists making art. Being an artist. As an artist. Being an artist. Here is a young girl, the story of a young girl. Art class, 1957. She draws a circle centered at the top of her paper. Beneath, but not touching the circle, she fashions a contiguous line shaped like the letter S, compressed, moving right to left to right. The work progresses, free, rhythmic, curving wider, snaking to the bottom of the page. She sits amazed, distance captured, far away made visible. The circle, now a moon, looms, casting beams across the sea. She fills page after page with new versions of Moonlight on Water. White chalk on black paper, black ink on white, lime green on blueprint blue, pink crayon on paper bag brown. Even with color, nothing is lost. Ocean, night, immensity, depth. Her wish to walk that wide, bright path. Her wish to disappear. Let's see. Yeah. So I'm mentioning Andre Hollinger, probably won't stop, but for now, I'll just say that she was kind enough to write a blurb on the back. And in this poem, I do something that she really picked up on, which was the poet, me in this case, interrogates her own history, observations, and assumptions. And I actually managed to put a little mini interview at the bottom of the poem. So, but it starts out very differently than that. Distance. A figure on the shoreline studies waves as they crest, studies layers of sky, marine light, gulls, their cries. Elated by salt air, she wonders, does sea meet sky? Or is that an illusion? Is there delineation, a clear line? Each time she gets away to the beach, fog and mist cloud her hopes of seeing that line. Even with new binoculars, she raises them to her eyes. There's a dot, it's a ship. She can't see anyone on deck, but surely someone is there, gazing at the shoreline, at gulls, clouds, the ceiling that is sky. Someone elated, breathing salt air, and no, the ship is not being crushed as the vast sea rises up to meet the sky. And no, the person on the deck is not squashed flat as the sky heaves seaward. The figure on the shoreline shrugs, rolls her shoulders. She needs to relax, but this is no mere walk on the beach. She needs answers in case someone asks her, what advice do you have for young poets? Young poets don't need my advice. They have a notion of time. Who has influenced you most throughout your life? The horizon and I are lifelong acquaintances. We practice the ancient art of distance keeping. Horizon, the master, I, the student. If you were a painter, what would you paint? Seascapes where blue meets blue. Oh, yes. So next on the list is if you have your broadside, you can read along. This was very kind of the poetry series to make these for tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, this is different now. This is, well, you'll see what it is. The ink brush artist. After conjuring landscape, a brush needs rest. The artist's eyes, they too need to look away from darkness, from light, from the horizon. Swirling her brush in the rinse pot, she shapes the bristles to a point, leans the brush on a chopstick rest. Her day's work, a pine branch, so fine in detail, it is nearly fragrant. And in the distance, waterfall, mountain. The weary artist wants fire, kettle, cup, and chair. Tea steeps and steams. The branch and waterfall settle and dry. The artist puts her feet up, sips her tea. these landscapes of mine, she says to herself and to the air, every painting lately, the mountain is farther and farther away. Of course, I forgot to set the time, but okay. New subject. This is what we call, or I didn't know this, but people smarter than me about making books call a preface poem. It precedes everything, and it is not in a section. I have 3 sections in this book, and they are called Light Swarms, then Bloodlines, then Landscapes, Seascapes, Soundscapes. So this one precedes everything. And my friend Penelope Scambley-Shaw was helping me get things in order before I sent it to the editor. And this poem is called Incarnations. So one time I thought, well, if reincarnation is what's going to happen, maybe if I write a bucket list, I'll be able to submit it to someone. But Penelope said that she loved the eternal feeling of it. And she said, why don't you read it forward and backward? And so that's what I'm going to do for you tonight, like a mirror of it. Incarnations. We sit in wicker chairs, my mother, her mother, me. Bees drone in honeysuckle. Portuguese water dog. I lie near my humans. They read to each other after lunch. I pretend to sleep. In the red studio, Henri Matisse and I cut paper with scissors and knives. As mother, I raise 3 children who laugh and cry daily, who teach me to be generous. I am water, lake, drops, circles. Monarch, one of thousands, I fly through a mountain pass, the only sound, our wings, ours, the only color, against granite, against cloud. Orchid, I bloom only at night. Orchid, I bloom only at night. Monarch, one of thousands, I fly through a mountain pass, the only sound, our wings, ours, the only color, against granite, against cloud. I am water, lake, drops, circles. As mother, I raise 3 children who laugh and cry daily, who teach me to be generous. In the red studio, Henri Matisse and I cut paper with scissors and knives. Portuguese water dog, I lie near my humans. They read to each other after lunch. I pretend to sleep. We sit in wicker chairs, my mother, her mother, me. Bees drone in honeysuckle. So fine, thank you. The word horizon kind of pops up everywhere in this book. My dear brother, who lives in Ireland, who will not be staying up till 2 to be with us. Okay. He did stay up for my book launch, though, which was very sweet, he and his wife. But my brother read novels like crazy. I never did. And he knew that he said, I was showing him poems, and he said, horizon, you know that, I've forgotten the reference. Sorry, I got it right here, though. Peter Matthiesen's Far Tortuga. In that novel, one of the chapters consists of this single word, horizon. Yeah. Oh, and another thing about this, I don't want to do backstory about all the poems, but I feel so indebted to another poet. His name is Tom Cullerton, and he and I were in a class together, and he brought in a draft called To Youth, and his first line was, the old brick school, an hour after dawn, is the horizon to the east. His line ushered me into a childhood sense of scale and perception. And that's how I started this poem called Horizon. And I kind of address the horizon. Horizon, you were once a sprawling school. Pale brick, modern, low and wide, wings open to embrace or kidnap. New and small, I watched my brother swallowed by your dark green doors. I felt a lift each day when he came home. On Sunday drives into Ohio farmland, we didn't say horizon. We said far, too far, or we said yonder. I saw a distant line between low hills. I only knew that was as far as I could see. We moved house to house to house, to school, another where I learned or didn't. Mathematics broke my heart. Music loved me. I learned the word horizon in a school of shining, ringing hallways. Summer was another hallway, endless, empty, hushed. Decades after classroom days, learning will not cease. I woke up on a plane in time to see an Arctic dawn. The sky a deeper red than any red I'd ever seen. Who taught me keep your distance? That was you, horizon. You move away each time I step in your direction. I'll venture past the light one day. Keep your eye on me, please do. Tell me, does it draw you to the lovely dark, the deep? Thank you. I want to read new work tonight also. And so that means, unpublished, it's in progress. Sometimes I don't even like the titles I have, but we'll get through this. So this is a hybrid form of an essay, a lyric essay that is an enumerated essay. So I'll be reading numbers and then words that follow that. The working title is 11 Moments of Hardly Any Noise. And welcome. And I just want to show you this because about as clumsy enough for live TV. Okay. Anyway, little short sentences and then much wordier ones. And at 10, we get pretty wordy. So I know that, taking in readings is is hard work for the audience. So I just wanted you to know sort of what's coming at you. And also, I'll say that in 10, when that starts, it doesn't start out serious. It gets pretty serious pretty fast. But I actually own up to making a really rookie mistake when I was a young woman painting my new apartment. So watch for that. But this is, yeah, that's a light moment in a more serious lyric enumerated essay. 11 moments of hardly any noise. 1, mother's white wool coat on a hanger. Winter white, a mohair blend with the collar turned up. She looked backlit. 2, snow falling, framed in windows, north, east, southwest, all day. 3, room tone, an audio recording taken after a video shoot with actors and crew present but silent. Room tone, a recording to capture silence particular to that space. How angled, how high is the ceiling? Is there traffic outside? How many windows? What size are the panes? Are they double glazed? Is the glass original? Is there carpeting? Furniture? Is it upholstered? Walls papered or painted? Is the room crowded and warm? Is it empty and brittle? 4, snowfall throughout the night. 5, a moment of silence for the dead. How long is a moment? What about grieving out loud? What about a moment of that? How long would that last? 6, the doctor's office before the diagnosis. 7, ash on a cigarette while the smoker tries to recall a name, which city, what year. 8, the doctor's office after the diagnosis. 9, after I say, no, I don't have children, or I'm a poet. 10, working alone, and after all the taping and edging, I use a roller to apply the golden peach latex paint. I work alone in this new to me apartment. The dining room looks great now. 1 down, 4 rooms to go. The next morning, the newly painted wallpaper has peeled away in shapes, still attached to the wall like tongues, revealing layers of 1906 earthquake newspapers, layers of vintage wallpaper, peonies, ivy, roses on trellis. A box arrives, its mother's white coat and a note from Dad. She would want you to wear this. I could not. I take the coat to my accounting job on the 26th floor. Beautiful Julia notices the coat. Take it, I say, and she says, I think my mother would love this coat. What lovely wool. Julia's mother visits the office. Oh, I love this wool, this fight, she says. Are you sure you don't want it? I hold the coat open. Her arms find the sleeves. She ties the sash belt and turns to face me, as if I'd known her all my life. I move the knotted sash off center. It's slimming that way. I turn the collar up for her. Julia and her mother thank me and walk to the elevators, the coat zipped in a garment bag. 11. They walk away. I rearrange papers on my desk and touch up my lipstick. Next, I test out my new automatic pencil sharpener. It's surprisingly quiet. The fresh wood smell, the shining lead. I'm going to read a book about couple more books about my mother and I. I took care of her as she was dying. So there are, I think, two poems I'd really like to read to you about that. One is right in the moment of that situation, and then I'll tell you about it next when I get there. Uncharted terrain. One roof shared. Floor plan as landscape. Vast plains, storm clouds, denizens dug in. One of her daughters, I'm strong again and able. Mother, lighter, smaller, has no strength. Her bad days longer by a mile. No, by a ton rough. Winter put down roots so deep they choked the future. Grass, lilacs, roses gone. Paint store colors gone from memory. Soup steaming on the tray the day I tell her, Mother, I'm afraid I'll die alone. 9 syllables fly off, fitful, onto walls, up to the ceiling. Plain talk is not our custom. Winter, muted snow on shingles, frost on windows. Before she sets the soup spoon down, before she naps, she tells me, you won't die alone. I don't sleep much. One ear listens for her cries. I cross the hall to her room, leaves of grass in hand to read aloud, or I hear her stories, secrets, jokes. Post-nightmare, all we want is peace. I sit with her, doze or talk, recalling fields of tall grass, how it ripples like the sea, or I say, heart-shaped leaf, and she says, redbud. I offer her valerian. If sleep's a thing that can't be found, I hold the atlas open to the pages she prefers, maps of oceans, maps of plains. After she dies, years later, I was in the American Southwest for the first time. And I was young and strong enough to do a descent into a canyon, to walk a trail down into a canyon rather than take the train, which believe me, I would do now. Yeah. But it's nice to remember that, the beauty of it, depth and light. I stare into the canyon, then start down. This trail is steep, more narrow than I thought. I scan for loose stones, grasp at roots and ledges. On the right, a vertical striated wall. On the left, air. This place could break me. My first canyon, first descent, first glimmer as to why I'm not a mountain person. All that striving in thin air. I reached the canyon floor intact and paused to praise my sturdy boots. Cottonwoods launch seedling fluffs to hover in the canyon sky, then drift. A riverbed meanders, almost dry. But look, a centered, shining sliver, a creek. From the rim, it looks like wire, like silver twine. They say they say our dead watch over us, our witness to our fears, joy, our anger, and our pleasures. Mother, do you see my sorrow? Canyon, do you grieve? Crops gone, flocks subtracted, dwellers vanished. Yet each noon you summon light, and light obliges, swarming to your depth. I want to write. I linger there, becoming vapor. Instead, I start the climb, pulled away and humbled, hungry and fatigued. My once praised boots, I curse them, one and then the heavy other. At the top, I'm weightless, spent. I turn around in time to see Tanya's vessel, light, its eager freight. Thank you. I'm excited about this new stuff. I want to write and read another. Thank you. So, pandemic writing, we were all going through so much. And I came up with this one, which for right now is called New Shapes of Grief Revealed. And actually, that's not the right title. Let me make one up on the spot here. Shapes of Grief Revealed, and I talk to them. Yeah, shapes of grief I talk to. There, maybe. The poem's better than the title. Rusted blade. It seems one injury is not enough for you. You cut and then infect. Storm. You barge in, uninvited, wreck the place and leave. In your wake, the air is dank. Fabric. I sew a dress and try it on. Alas, the dress wears me, turns my eyes from sky to gray. Droplets fall on pleats and sleeves. Daily Mail. You crash through the slot, porch side to entryway. Junk mail, taxes. And what's this? A letter to a loved one I mailed at least a year ago lies among the others stamped returned. Nail head in the floorboard. You try and try to trip me up. Each time you rise, I strike you down, my hammer made of gold and fury. I wonder which disguises next. Clown, flood, wildfire, amber eyes and dripping fangs. You, grief, you are almost entertaining. One more poem. Before the Q&A? Yes, please.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Don't make them too complicated, these questions. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We did. I know.
Yeah.
One hope one knows the answer.
Well, we're expecting
Oh,
very much for the reading.
it's just a pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, it's a delight.
Thank you.
I like to ask people who you feel has influenced you and who are you reading. That may be one question, that may be two questions.
Very answer. Oh, yeah, that's for metaphysical. Everyone I've studied with here at Portland, I mean, I hesitate to start naming them because I know I'll leave somebody out. And I wouldn't want to do that, live streamers. Let's see. My first, this is good. My first love affair with a poet, I think, was with Mary Oliver. And that was probably in the mid-90s, Wild Geese was given to me as a birthday present. And I was really enthralled with her work. Maybe it was just such a wonderful, freeing thing to listen to this woman's voice. The other thing that really got to me, even earlier than that, before I was even interested in poetry, was a poem by Elizabeth Bishop that some of you will know. An Invitation to Miss Marianne Moore, I believe is the title. And she's inviting Marianne Moore to come across the Brooklyn Bridge and have tea and visit. And I just thought, well, I hadn't read any women poets who were incredibly tragic, because I'm old enough to have been around. I mean, Sylvia Plath and then Sexton, you know, those are the women poets I love. And I thought, this must be dangerous stuff. It's scary stuff, you know. So also, I had bad luck trying to get work in the theater in New York. So I was kind of determined not to be creative, because I thought it would be really bad for me. So the good news was, when I was 50, poetry grabbed me and I grabbed back. And so I would say that Elizabeth Bishop and Mary Oliver to me. What was the next poem? What am I reading? Oh gosh. This was so surprising. I was just introduced to Ellen Bryant Boyd. And I don't know if everybody knows her, but she wrote a book. Well, she's written many books. And she is on the East Coast, and I believe she created and ran the Warren Wilson Low Residency Program. Maybe created that whole genre, maybe. But she wrote a book about the Spanish flu, 1918, I think? Yeah, 1918, called Kyrie. And I gotta tell you, and her family memories gave her the seedlings for them, because her father told her stories about seeing his mother die of the influenza at home. So she has this beautiful collection of poems about, I'll tell you one thing, it makes me really grateful for vaccinations and boosters. Yes. We are so fortunate. Anyway, that wasn't happening then, and so many people died. So I'm deep into that. And she actually writes letters from two lovers, a young soldier and his school teacher girlfriend back home. So there's a lot of letters from them. So there's epistolary poems. There are some very playful ones. I mean, it's about death, but you know how jump rope songs are about death, ashes, all down. That she wrote her own versions of those, and they blow my mind. So good. What else? Just and about that's another book. That's another book of hers. But I just studied her. And it's amazing. I mean, I didn't take English literature course. I studied theater, so I'm really in lifelong learning. Keep them coming at me. I just want to read everybody. So she's my latest and greatest anyway. Yeah, of course. It's not a question, an observation. I want you to know I love it. Poets get the backstory. Yes. Oh, that's great. I would read poetry, and I was like, I wonder how's it to read it? And when they read it out loud, and sometimes it's by graphical. We anyway. Yeah. No, Ingrid. Oh, yeah. You can just, yes, I've met his book. He's terrific, yeah. But it's more concealed in other kinds of work. Yeah. Thank you for that. Oh, you're welcome. Let me tell you something. I love that too. I mean, if we, if we were gonna be beatniks and stay up all night, it would be different, but, there's notes and stuff at the end of the book. I have, page 59 through 65 of notes and appreciations and reminiscences about the beginnings of things and influences and stuff like that. So I think you did that in I can't contain myself. I think it's wonderful. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Yes. So I'm curious about the business process and make yourself. And is there a poem that you can speak to that? Like, and then I'm interested in knowing, like, do you have a poem that you've just been writing for years? Like, you just kind of keep doing stuff, right? So that's a fun question. And however you want to speak to the editing or revision process.
Well, I'll tell you what, I am a huge believer in particulars. And people here, a few of them are right here. And there's one more who just moved to Australia. It's on live stream, I hope. Or you will see this. I can't. If I didn't have that, everything would be wrong, and I would be probably numb with working on it by now. So my point being that it's great to have community, and it's so great that you have helped this community here and learn from each other and had classes in the pond house, which I went to, and had meetings down there. Now this. Because if two people say, that line doesn't seem as fresh as the other ones, I would really take it seriously. It saves me months of it. And then the other thing I want to tell you to really humanize writing, and I'm really happy to say this. I mean, I'm not happy I'm like this, but I'll happily tell you that I have terrible self-doubt. So, okay, is this working? And then they help me. And it's like, I can always take a suggestion, but that's my magic bullet for proceeding and improving with your writing. At least have someone you're exchanging with if you don't have groups. Somebody, read this and see what you think. It's so helpful. So is that all? Anything that's great. Yeah. Thank you for asking. Just like to speak to that, but I find it incredibly difficult to find good critique groups. Good critique groups? Yeah. So I don't know if you have any suggestions? It's like we want to play tennis at the same level, but you want somebody who's just sure. Well, it's tough. We all formed one in 2000. And we've been together ever since. So I can't really take we're not taking anyone else in because of the time constraints for the people who are working full time. I suggest it's almost like a personal app, I suggest that kind of approach, or take a class and find the people whose work sparks you and talk to them. That's the best. I mean, from my classes, that's where I found all my good buddies. Yeah. So does that help? Oh. I see now with people who are living in New York because at least. Yeah. Yeah, good. Sorry, I don't really have yes, hi. Curious. Wilson, right? Yeah.
The horizon that you speak of. Yeah. One of your poems you talk about walking on the beach.
Yeah.
Where is that beach? I can answer it.
I think it is Manzanita, actually. But I have had that happen on many coasts. Yeah, but I think because I was there, here it is. Thank you for asking me that, because now I remember. There's a group up there, Manzanita, the Hoffman Center in Manzanita offers classes, and there was a weekend class that I went up there for twice. And so here I am all steeped with new ideas, and I'm talking along the beach, and that's yeah.
If there are no more questions, you have a final call
I do.
for us.
Or sure.
You don't actually kick us.
Okay. The feed stops, doesn't it? No. Okay. Okay. You know, I agreed to do that, and now I'm no. I know a great one. Okay. Or, you know, or ending, because I don't really feel it. Okay, I should have written this down. Oh, no. Mm-mm. Okay. This is a paean to Pacific Northwest. I didn't always live here. I'm so glad I did. Learning beauty, an apology to conifers. Schooled in the bare branch, pink blossom, ripe cherry, falling leaf dow of deciduous. I could not love you, spruce and cedar, thick against the hills, nor you, pines and firs, sentinels of the interstate. I drove fast and north, then fast and south, missing you as same old same. I'm sorry. I am not that person now. I live among you, with you, breathing air, fresh praised with pine, and in your thrall. You loved me when I was lost. Love me now with ever constant green, your way of stillness, willing to direct my eyes every time to the sky. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Suzanne,
Thank you for the opportunity.
for being here. Thanks to the audience. Wendy Willis is going to be the January poet, so she'll be here the second Wednesday in January. We also have another event in January, which is our annual William Stafford birthday celebration. And we are going to do that. And it'll be an opportunity to read Bill Stafford poems. That's going to be on the second Saturday of January, here, 3 to 5. So, well, there will be one like a Twitter as well. And there'll be one here. Yep. So thank you all for being here. Don't forget to get a copy of the broadside if you didn't have one. Thank you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Books are for sale back there. Yes.
Yes.
And my lovely wife Jane is going to be right there, and she's going to be ready to sell you books. Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
I'm Tom Hogan for the Milwaukie Poetry Series. Good night, everybody.